Hi, this is Carrie again from the Red Pill Shaman. Please subscribe and find out for daily tips about how to heal trauma, spiritual advice, and how to have improved relationships, etc. So in my last video, I talked about the 3 steps for healing: gratitude, understanding, and forgiveness. And so I thought I would get more into the understanding piece. And this is where it's challenging for a lot of people, and where I'm able to help my clients and my friends and family, people I help, understand their emotional pain. Because many times, especially in childhood, when we have challenging events, challenging emotional events, when we don't have the proper guidance and tools to process those challenging emotions, we oftentimes turn those emotions into anger. Because we all know how to be angry. I mean, we yell, we scream, we hit, we all know how to be angry. It's pretty, it's a pretty kind of more simple emotion. But grief of a parent, relationship challenges, things like that, things that are more complicated to understand, especially as a child, those get repressed and can easily get turned into anger, guilt, shame, judgment, that kind of thing. So here's an example about why, what I tell my clients is healing is all about perspective. It's not that there's this one right perspective always, that one right perspective always. It's in each moment, what is the perspective that I need to see so I can learn what I need to learn and not have this emotional pain anymore. Because that's the real goal, is how do I let go of this emotional pain, and so it's all that negativity isn't inside of me anymore, and so I'm not creating a negative experience for myself in the world. And so I take the approach that we all create our own reality. If there's negative on the inside, there'll be negative on the outside, and then you get negative back. So the only way to change your experience of life is to love on those parts that you're currently hating on, and change that into positivity. So there's positive inside, positive outside, positive back. And when we talk about creating abundance and the flow of abundance, that's where you have power to manifest a more abundant life for yourself, is to let go and heal the pain that's inside of you. So understanding your pain and having the right perspective. So here's an example. I had a client, and her mom passed away when she was a teenager, and I worked with her when she was in her mid-30s. And during the session, I was intuitively guided to ask her, "Have you ever forgiven your mom for passing away when you were so young?" And she immediately burst into tears. Now, tears are usually a sign that that is what you need to learn. Like, that's honesty, that's truth, and that's like a physical sign that you're either on the right path or you've hit the right spot, but you're getting there. And so she burst into tears, and she said that no one had ever asked her that question before. And half of her life she hasn't had a mom. Her mom passed away, and so no one taught her how to grieve the loss of a parent as a teenager, as a mom. I mean, that's a really, really difficult experience to go through. And because no one taught her, she turned it into anger. And so she's been mad at her mom for passing away. While we can think here, okay, logically that doesn't make sense, but we all know emotions aren't logical. Predominantly, that's just how we feel, right? So the more you practice asking yourself questions, what can I learn? Why was that necessary? Why was it necessary for me to lose my job? What can I learn? Because if you're just going to blame the boss or the company, and I'm not saying that they're right, but you don't have control over them. But if you spend energy on blaming someone else when you have a problem, that's where you get yourself on the wrong track from the get, because you're not grateful and you're complaining and you're the victim. And if you're the victim, you don't have any agency. And if you don't have any agency, how are you going to solve your problem? Because you don't control the other person. So when you go into victim mentality, you're creating more problems for yourself than solving problems for yourself. Now, it might feel good in the moment to say, oh, well, they're the assholes and I am perfect and, I don't need to change. Well, then that negativity that invited that experience into your life, your soul is just going to set it up again for you. You're just going to have the same negative experience in a different environment until you learn and grow. I mean, that's why we recycle relationships. I mean, I married a man that was like my dad. So, because I hadn't healed. And it happens to us all the time. I mean, how many times do you get women complaining, well, he was a narcissist, and he's a narcissist, and he's a narcissist. Okay, I'm not saying he's not a narcissist. But why do you keep getting into relationships with narcissists? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Why is it necessary for me to keep getting in a relationship with the same guy? What have I not learned? What have I not healed inside myself? Why does that keep being presented back in my life again and again and again and again? And from a spiritual perspective, why are we here? Well, we're kind of like in a video game. And you think of our souls as controlling the avatar, which is in this lifetime is this body. For me, it's Carrie. So my soul is controlling my body with emotions, with the energy of the soul, which energy, emotions, that it all goes together. So, my soul will light me up if it wants me to pay attention to someone. My soul will make me sad or a little scared. I'm going to stay away from someone. So I'm constantly, listening to myself so that I understand why environments and opportunities for learning and challenges are brought into my life so I can be grateful and I can understand and then I can forgive. But then why was it necessary? And just add in whatever happened, Why was it necessary for my dad to die when I was 10? Why was it necessary for my brother to commit suicide? What can I learn from that? How can I be a better version of myself, out of this challenge? So if you think about life events as a series of challenges in a video game, and each time you accomplish a challenge, you level up. So if you're at 14 and you haven't learned your lesson about how to get out of 14, such as the narcissistic relationships you keep attracting into your life, then you're going to keep attracting in narcissistic relationships and you're going to stay at level 14. But if you want to get to level 15, then you got to learn the lesson from level 14 and then you'll get the new lesson at level 15. And there is always a new lesson. Remember my stepfather once told me that. He's like, if I knew what I don't know, then I might know something. And this is a doctor from Germany who used to be the doctor to the sister of the Shah of Iran, traveled all over the world, ended up in Santa Barbara, California, Montecito, and had an incredible life, extremely knowledgeable man in the military, a carpenter, very knowledgeable man. But that's true. There's so much we don't know. So you got to keep asking yourself, what can I learn? What can I learn? What can I learn? Because if there's nothing left to learn, then why are you here? Like, how boring is that to think, well, I've learned everything and now I got nothing else to do? I mean, come on now, grow up. I mean, I'm 52 and I'm learning every day. And I have a master's degree in Chinese and I've traveled all over the world and met incredible people. I mean, I'm here in Ventura and I, worked with some guys in the red pill space that you would know if you know the red pill space. I mean, how incredible experience is that? If I hadn't continued on my learning and growing and seeking out new challenges and experiences to enrich myself, I would never have all these experiences. I've been to Tibet. I've been to Mount Everest. I've been to Mount Everest at 23, and I'm sitting here learning my lessons day in, day out, single woman, 52 years old, and I'm capable enough to get my ass to the Mount Everest base camp when I was 23 years old. So, we all got things that we need to learn and heal and grow from, and we're all in this together. That's what is so sad, that we think we're all arguing with each other and claiming that we're the bigger victim and we've been hurt more and more hurt here and there. We're all in this together. So the sooner we start appreciating each other and kind of stepping back and seeing the bigger reality that all these things are happening for our benefit, and we all start having some gratitude for everything that's happened for our benefit, then, we're going to continue the same negative experience that we're experiencing. And, one question that I ask myself constantly, and I ask my children and my friends, is this one. If you're not grateful for what the universe has provided, why should the universe provide anything further? And I'm going to say that again. If you're not grateful for what the universe has provided, why should the universe provide anything further? And really sit with that. Because if you don't start with gratitude for all the things you have in your life, then why should God or the universe or source, whatever you want to call it, bring anything else into your life. If you're not saying thank you in an appropriate, healthy way, why should they give a fuck? Why should they give a fuck? And really, the universe only gives a fuck about you when you give a fuck about yourself. The universe will reflect back your internal reality every time. Every time it will reflect it back. So if you want to understand where you're at, look around you. If you have a lot of negative experiences, that's because there's negativity inside of you and you have no one to blame but yourself. And I couldn't be sitting here talking to you unless I had been through it my whole life. I was negative all the fucking time, all the time negative. But now I do my best, gratitude, positive, understand, and forgive. And I've changed my whole reality. My whole reality has changed because I learned how to forgive and I learned how to be grateful. And I learned how to understand why challenges come into my life. So I hope this was helpful, and I will keep making videos as I'm drawn. Have a wonderful day.